Welcome to How to Create Workshops, a training video by the Faculty Technology Center and LSU Online and Continuing Education. My name is Phoenix Mackay, and I will be working with you today. Our objectives in this course will be to cover the following: how to create the workshop activity, understanding the settings, and how to do the allocation of the assignments between the students. The first step in creating a workshop is to click on Create Learning Activity. Once you have done this, you will go down to the bottom and click on Workshop from the choices. Here we will give the workshop a name. You're going to have multiple places to put a description. This description is the overall description of what the assignment is. It is not to individual pieces. You have the choice of displaying this on the screen at all times or only once they've clicked on the assignment. Workshops grades are done in two parts. They get one grade for the submission and one grade for assessment, meaning students will grade their submission as part of the workshop and the grade is given. And then they're given a grade on how well they assess the other students' work. So you can set these up to whatever levels you would like based on the criteria you're giving. There are also different grading strategies. I will go over these in more detail in another video on grading and setting up the assessment form. Submission settings. Here you put instructions specifically for submission. You can require it be online text or file attachment, one or the other or both. You can set a maximum number of attachments. You can even choose file types. Allow submissions after deadlines. This will prevent you from being able to auto switch to the assessment phase. The assessment phase instructions, so this is where you would tell them the overall instructions on how you want them to do the assessment. And then the assessment form can include more information. An assessment form can be a rubric or its other similar such structures that again I will cover in another video. This is just some overall feedback information. You can give example submissions if you would like. Availability. If you enable this, you set specific dates for the opening and closing. So let's set this for the day after. So they have a 24-hour window. And then you can set the opening and closing of the submission. The start date for the assessment has to be at the earliest the same as the deadline for submissions. Once you have done this, you have the option to make it automatically switch to the next phase. Otherwise, you are going to have to manually switch it. The option here is if you are going to want to manually allocate the submissions, you will not necessarily want it to automatically switch to the assessment phase. If you are wanting it to automatically switch and you want it to automatically randomly assign allocations, then I would suggest going ahead and doing this. Once you have done that, you would hit Save and Display. This is where the next round of pertinent information is. The first step is, that we're going to cover in this video, is the setup scheduled allocation. If you are wanting to randomly schedule allocation, then I would set it up to do it automatically allocate submissions at the end of the submission phase. Number of reviews. Now this is important. So say you want 2 per submission or per reviewer. The importance for this comes into whether or not you allow submissions to be assessed if they did not submit. Participants can assess without having submitted anything. If you choose this, I recommend saying per reviewer. The difference being 2 per submission will give every submission 2 reviewers. If you are not allowing people who didn't submit to participate, then the number of submitters and the number of reviewers is the same. So this is fine. If you are allowing people who did not submit to review, you are going to have an uneven number of submissions and reviewers. So you would have 2 choices. It's 2 per submission, but that would mean that some people would only assess 1 item. The other option is 2 per reviewer. This would give 2 to every reviewer. Now, this will allow some people to have 3 reviews of their submission. If that's okay, that's fine. So the big thing is, if you are allowing people who did not submit to assess, if that is the more primary focus of the assignment, for instance, then I would set it to reviewers so that everyone reviews the same number. If you are not allowing this, then either of these options is fine because the reviewers and the submissions will be the same number. Once you have chosen this, you click on Save Changes and then Continue. When you are ready to go back, you would just click on here where it says Demo Workshop, in this case, or the name of whatever you named it. You'll see that this is now green, meaning it's ready. Edit assessment form, I will go into in another video that you will find in the same location. I will also go over some of the grading details in that as well. You do have to manually move this to the submission phase when you are ready. Otherwise, students will not be able to start submitting. Even if you do move it to the submission phase, students will not be able to submit until your open date. If you have it set to automatically move, it will move to the assessment phase for you. If you do not, you will have to move it to the assessment phase. When the assessment phase is over, you will have to switch it to the grading phase, do the grading and view the grading and any changes you want to make there, and then you will close workshop. It is not until you close workshop that students will be able to see their grades and the reviews that they have received from other students and from you. Thank you. For further information, please check grok.lsu.edu or our other training videos.